Royal Air Force Station Habbaniya, more commonly known as RAF Habbaniya, was a Royal Air Force station at Habbaniya, about 55 miles west of Baghdad in modern-day Iraq, on the banks of the Euphrates near Lake Habbaniyah. It was operational from October 1936 until the 31st of May 1959, when the British were finally withdrawn following the July 1958 revolution. It remained a major Iraqi military airbase. History. RAF Habbaniya was constructed on the west bank of the Euphrates and opened on the 19th of October 1936. It was a British sovereign airbase which the British fought tooth and nail to protect it against the invading Iraqi army in May 1941. RAF Habbaniya was also known as Second London, with an entrance gate called London Gate. The squadrons, units and headquarters and the hospital gradually moved in from RAF Habbaniya, Baghdad, which was vacated by the British and renamed Rashid Airfield by the Iraqis. Originally called RAF Habbaniya, the station was renamed RAF Habbaniya on the 1st of May 1938. The base was extensive and included the air headquarters of RAF Iraq Command, maintenance units, an aircraft depot and RAF Hospital, RAF Iraq Levies Barracks, the RAF Armored Car Company depot, as well as fuel and bomb stores. There were numerous billets, messes and a wide range of leisure facilities, including swimming pools, cinemas and theaters, sports pitches, tennis courts and riding stables. It was self-contained with its own power station, water purification plant and sewage farm. Water taken from the Euphrates for the irrigation systems enabled green lawns, flower beds and even ornamental botanical gardens. After World War II, the families of British personnel started living at Habbaniya and a school was started. Within the camp perimeter was the civil cantonment, which provided the accommodation for the families of the RAF Iraq levies and the civilian workers, and the families. The cantonment population of about 10,000 had their own schools, hospital, mosques, churches, temples, cinema and bazaars. Just outside the perimeter was the village of Humphreya, in which more locally employed civilians and the families lived. It was the original construction camp for the company which constructed the base, Messrs. Humphreys of Knightsbridge, London. There was a 7-mile perimeter fence round the base, but this did not enclose the airfield, which was outside. In 1952, a second airfield was built on the plateau to cope with the long-range and jet aircraft using the base. In the late 1930s, Imperial Airways established a staging post on Lake Habbaniyah for the flying boat service from the UK to British India using short Empires. The lake provided the necessary landing area for these aircraft in the middle of the Mesopotamian desert. The station was a large flying training school during World War II, as well as a transport staging airfield. During the Rashid Ali Rebellion in 1941, the airfield was besieged by the Iraqi army encamped on the overlooking plateau. On the 2nd of May 1941, British forces from the airfield launched preemptive airstrikes on Iraqi forces throughout Iraq, and the Anglo-Iraqi War began. The siege was lifted by the units based at Habbaniya, including pilots from the training school. A battalion of the King's Own Royal Regiment flown in at the last moment, No. 1 Armoured Car Company RAF and the RAF's Iraq levies. The subsequent arrival of a relief column, part of Hab Force sent from Palestine, then a British mandate, combined with the Habbaniya units to force the rebel forces to retreat to Baghdad. Later in World War II, Habbaniya became an important stage on the southern air route between the UK and the USSR. British Overseas Airways Corporation ran a regular passenger service via North Africa and the Middle East using Consolidated Liberator transports. The United States Army Air Force's Air Transport Command used Habbaniya Habbaniya as a stopover point between the large Lend-Lease aircraft assembly facility at Abadan Airport, Iran and Payne Field, Cairo. Also ATC operated a transport route from Habbaniya to Mehrabad Airport, Tehran. After World War II, the OAC discontinued the flying boat service and the hotel buildings at the lake required by the RAF and used as a rest and recreation center. Operational RAF squadrons were based at Habbaniya and very many aircraft passed through in transit. Roald Dahl was stationed there in 1940, as described in his book, Going Solo, but his description is somewhat inaccurate and his opinion rather unfavorable compared with that of most personnel who served there. Among the units located at Habbaniya at various times were No. 4 Service Flying Training School RAF, No. 115 Maintenance Unit RAF, No. 134 Maintenance Unit RAF, 123 Signals Unit, 276 Signals Unit. Squadrons NOS 8, 30, 70, 84, 244, 249, 683. 19 Topographical Squadron R.E. No. 1 Armored Car Company RAF, No. 2 Squadron RAF Regiment, 1st Battalion King's Own Royal Regiment, Iraq Levies, HQ, 1st, 2D, 3D, 4th and 5th of Syrian Levies and 8th Levy. All companies of 125 men plus the dependents totaling 2,000 people. No. 8 Squadron RAF and No. 73 Squadron RAF were among the last flying squadrons to depart the base in the mid-1950s, along with No. 104 Maintenance Unit RAF and the RAF Hawker Hunter servicing flight. The base closed on the 31st of May 1959 when the British were finally withdrawn following the July 1958 revolution. In June 1961 there were 2 Iraqi Air Force squadrons at the base. No. 1 Squadron, Venom FB, Mk-1, based at Habbaniya, CO Captain A. Munaim Ismail. No. 6 Squadron, Hunter, based at Habbaniya, CO Captain Hamid Shaban. Tom Cooper's book, Arab MiG-19 and MiG-21 Units in Combat, describes Habbaniya as a base for Miko Yangurovich MiG-21s by 1990. Current use. According to the Federation of American Scientists, the site was used to produce mustard gas. The site was built in 1983–1984. The factory produced the gas for use against the Iranians during the Iran-Iraq War. The factory produced 60 to 80 tons per year. After 2003, the former British airfield was used by both the United States Armed Forces and the new Iraqi Army as a forward operating base, and is now known as Camp Habbaniya. For this outpost, combat operations are run from the outskirts of Fallujah to the outskirts of Ramadi. Since 2006, Camp Habbaniya has grown into a regional training and regional support center as well as the headquarters for the Iraqi Army 1st Division. Ongoing coalition and Iraqi construction projects have revitalized much of the base. In December 2008, the U.S. Army and all civilian contractors, less 12 contractors from MPRI, departed Camp Habbaniya. U.S. Marines had stayed behind to provide the Iraqi Army with additional perimeter security until a time TBD. On the 16th of April 2009, a suicide bomber dressed as an Iraqi first lieutenant detonated a bomb among a group of Iraqi soldiers at a canteen. As of 2015, Habbaniya serves as a base for Shia militias, the Iraqi Army and its American trainers, in their ongoing campaign against ISIS. 289 British and Commonwealth personnel, women, Children and babies still lie buried in the RAF Commonwealth War Graves Commission Cemetery in Habbaniya. The register of those buried is held by the RAF Habbaniya Association. RAF Habbaniya Association units and aircraft. Number 6 Squadron RAF de Havilland Vampire FB5 and AMP FB9. Number 8 Squadron RAF de Havilland Vampire FB4. Number 11 Squadron RAF Bristol Blenheim IV. Number 14 Squadron RAF Bristol Blenheim IV. Number 30 Squadron RAF. Number 45 Squadron RAF Bristol Blenheim IV. Number 52 Squadron RAF Hawker or Dax. Number 55 Squadron RAF Vickers Vincent Bristol Blenheim I. Number 70 Squadron RAF Vickers Valentia. Number 73 Squadron RAF de Havilland Vampire FB9 and AMP FB1. Number 74 Squadron RAF Hawker Hurricane I. Number 82 Squadron RAF Detachment Avro Lancaster PR1. Number 84 Squadron RAF Bristol Blenheim IV. Number 94 Squadron RAF Detachment Gloucester Gladiator. Number 123 Squadron RAF Gloucester Gladiator. Number 162 Squadron RAF Bristol Blenheim IV. Number 185 Squadron RAF de Havilland Vampire FB5. Number 203 Squadron RAF Detachment Bristol Blenheim IV. Number 208 Squadron RAF Detachment Hawker or Dax. Number 216 Squadron RAF Detachment Lockheed Hudson IV. Number 223 Squadron RAF Detachment Martin Baltimore. Number 244 Squadron RAF. Number 249 Squadron RAF de Havilland Mosquito FB26 Hawker Tempest F6. Number 261 Squadron RAF Gloucester Gladiator Hawker Hurricane I. Number 651 Squadron RAF Detachment Auster AOP6. Number 680 Squadron RAF Detachment Fairchild Argus. Number 683 Squadron RAF Vickers Valletta C1. No 1412 RAF Gloucester Gladiator Hawker Hurricane. No 1434 Flight RAF Bristol Blenheim. Number 4 Flying Training School RAF. Number 104 Maintenance Unit RAF. Number 115 Maintenance Unit RAF. Number 134 Maintenance Unit RAF.